What if the next 5 years of rebuilding produce the exact same results as the last five? In 2014, I lost everything. I lost my home, I lost every asset, and then a couple of years later, I lost my husband to a horrible disease called ALS. And at the time, I was 53, and I did what everyone else does at that point. I rebuilt, and I rebuilt fast with borrowed strategies and other people's definitions of what back on your feet looks like because I didn't know any other way. I felt completely trapped and I felt I had no other choice at the time. And it did work, but it still felt wrong. Functional on the outside, second guessing everything on the inside, redeciding the same decisions, and never landing on solid ground. And then something changed. And it wasn't from working harder. I finally saw the real problem. It turns out there's a reason the rebuilt life didn't fit. I had rebuilt it using everyone else's rules for how to create that rebuilt life. And I'm not built the way everyone else is, and neither are you. Every one of us is designed to create in a specific way, and almost nobody ever gets to see what that design actually is. But I did. It came to me as a reading laid out on a simple page. And the day I understood my design, the second guessing stopped. Decisions got fast and clean. The background question, am I even going in the right direction, finally went quiet. And it wasn't from working harder. Again, it was from seeing how I'm designed. It was a chart, okay? A simple chart. So let me show you what I found. I'm going to put it on the screen right now for you. This is my chart. It's very simple. What's on the screen right now is the results of my own reading laid out on one page. This comes from the manifesting blueprint, what I access in the seventh dimension. It's your soul level design for how you create. So what you're looking at is what I brought back, the results, laid out so you can actually see them. It's a reading I do in the records, and what it reveals is how you specifically are designed to create, how you're built to bring things into reality your way, not someone else's way. And it measures 7 things. I call them comparatives. And here's what that means. For each one, there are 2 opposite ways of creating. Both completely valid, by the way, just opposites. And every person is designed somewhere between those opposites. Some are at an extreme end and some are located somewhere in the middle. Every one of us is original. So take the one I've circled, for example, because most of them, as you can see, the numbers are pretty close. One is the 7th dimension, which is my perfect blueprint, how I am designed to create. And then the other column is my 3rd dimensional level where I'm actually creating in this human body. Okay. And you can see I'm off on one majorly and the other is just a little bit off. So I'm going in the right direction, but one of these can just stop you from getting the exact thing you're looking for. Now, so one side you can see is process, the other side is outcome. People that are process people like myself are built to create by focusing on the doing, enjoying the process of whatever we're doing at the time, the work itself. And the other end is outcome people, people built to create by focusing on the results. So vision board people, goal-oriented people, needing to see what the numbers are, and then their process happens naturally. They don't even have to think about the process. These are 2 opposite ways of building a life, and neither one is better. Make sure you remember that. The number simply shows where you sit on the scale between 1 and 100. And now, this is not a score. I know your mind is going to go, oh, so 27 is not good. No, these are not scores. They're not a grade. There's no passing or failing. It's just a position where you actually live between those 2 opposites. And this is where it gets interesting. For every comparative, there are 2 numbers. The first is your design, as I said, and where you're built to create. That one never changes. The 7th dimension is not going to change, okay? The second is how you're actually operating right now in your day-to-day life. And those 2 numbers should match as closely as possible when you're in manifestation mode and when you want to create the big stuff. And that is not always about money. Sometimes people want to create a great relationship or fix the relationship they're in and get those 2 people read and then work together. It's amazing. When they don't match or when they're way off, you get exactly what I described at the top. Full effort, same result over and over again. The pattern was never in your circumstances, okay? It's in the gap between those two numbers. So let me show you mine again. I'm going to put it back up because I live this one. So the circle dial process versus outcome in plain language. Are you built to create by focusing on the doing or by focusing on the result? Again, neither is better. They're just opposite in design. So at a 27, I am high process. I'm built to create, staying focused on the work itself. So in March, when I measured this, I was operating at a 51, pulled way toward outcome, running on a setting that is not mine. And I know exactly how I got there. When you've already lost everything once, twice, three times, fear grabs that wheel. I need to make money. 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 That's goals. I was thinking about the goals. How am I going to make the money? How am I going to make the money? And it got really, really loud. And that is what fear does. It points everyone at the result. But for someone designed for process, chasing the outcome pushes that further away. That's not a mindset quote. That's the mechanics of how I am built. And here's the part that stings. I would have told you I was doing everything right. Working hard, buying the courses, doing the certification, showing up, following the plan, keeping busy, same effort, same result month after month. The problem was never the effort. It was the setting. Real quick. If you're recognizing yourself in this, hit subscribe. It just takes a second and it tells me that we're on track here. So I stopped and I turned back to my design. My purpose is specific. I create through communication. That's my true purpose in this world. Written, voice, video, whatever it may be. And when I looked honestly at what I was doing, I had all the writing, all the blogs, all the posts. I stopped making videos for a year and a half, something like that. And I used to do videos weekly. And for someone built to communicate, it's not a marketing gap. It's a soul level gap for me, not for you, for me. So I really said, oh my goodness, I'm breaking my own rules. So I acted on it, came over here to YouTube, and I unlisted over 100 old videos that had just been sitting there like with dust, crusty, and they just no longer matched who I am. Like they were so old, like years old. And when I was cooking in my kitchen and making nutrition videos, because I was certified in nutrition at the time, but I wasn't feeling what I was doing for a living because I wasn't doing what I should actually be doing. Okay. I was keeping busy. Now, so it didn't match who I am. And so I rebuilt my YouTube channel, 20 new long form videos, 21 shorts and counting. I created a live webinar that I streamed live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And oh my God, that put my work in front of people who would never have found me before. And then I said, the idea came to me. I said, I'm going to create a course. And I created a 4-part course all about this. It's called Manifesting Myths Decoded. So 4 months ago, it was trapped in my own brain. And now I am creating the way I'm supposed to create, and it's so effortless. For me, creating videos is effortless. For most people, it may not be. It may not be for you. So don't force yourself to do something that you're not meant to be doing. All of this, since I stopped chasing the results and enjoying the process, I started operating the way I'm actually built to create. And notice the scoreboard I just used. Momentum, a body of work, an energy that I don't have to force. For a process person, that is the scoreboard. The outcome follows the process. They never lead it. Now, why does this run deeper than a personality test, you ask? Because the dial only makes sense read through who you are at soul level. In my work, there are 2 different readings I give to my clients. First up is the soul profile. I find out where you are at the soul level, which is called your energy center, not to be confused with chakras. Your soul profile is who you are, your soul's purpose, why you're here. Mine is communication. That's why I'm here. Every single lifetime, I'm the same. And it's not just now, it's every single lifetime. It never changes. So let me clear up something because almost everyone gets this wrong. Your job, your career is not your purpose. Your role is not your purpose. Your purpose is your soul's purpose. How you do what you do, anything you do. That is why some people change careers 5 times and still feel like themselves. They were moving along with who they are, while others can keep a career for 30 years and still feel like a stranger in it. Now, the second reading I do is called the Manifesting Blueprint, where I read both your soul profile and your manifesting blueprint, which is the how, the mechanics of how you're built to bring things into reality. And it only makes sense read through the who. So going back to my blueprint, my dial is high process. My soul profile gift is communication. Put together, they told me exactly what to build and how to build it. Either one alone would have left me guessing. And here's why this matters for you. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? I'm getting there. That was one dial and it was mine. I wanted to show you an example in the blueprint. Because of the work I do, I was operating close to my design, one dial off, and it did a lot of damage for me. It had me second guessing, redeciding, burning out, asking all the questions, and questioning myself and why I'm actually here. Most people I read are operating away from their design on 3 or 4 of the 7. And because this work I do, I'm more intuitive. The more work I do, the more intuitive I get. So I can recalibrate on my own so much more easily than most people. So that's why I offer this service to my clients. Imagine 3 or 4 of those dials off, sitting at opposite ends of the scale, working against each other. It's going to make you feel like you're walking through muck. And that's why the advice that you're getting from other people isn't working, because they don't know how you operate. You instinctively know, but you're not there because you're listening to so many different ways of doing it. And what works for one person can wreck another person. And that's why the strategy that transformed your friend's rebuild did nothing for yours. Different designs, different positions, different moves. And that's why the pattern keeps repeating. No matter how much effort you throw at it, you can't out effort a setting you've never seen. That's what we call burnout. You can still have success, yes, but it won't feel rewarding and it won't feel right. So back to the question we started with. What if the next 5 years produce the same results as the last 5? They will if the settings don't change. And it's not because you didn't try hard enough, because effort applied to someone else's design multiplies their results, not yours. Finding out where your dials actually sit and where you're operating against is life affirming. That is why I created this 4-part course. This course will walk you through what manifesting actually is, the myths you've been told. I will go through all 7 comparatives and so much more. You're going to love it. Subscribe below so you don't miss out. It's called Manifesting Myths Decoded. It's on the channel. It's there right now. Part 1 is linked below. You rebuilt the life. Now find out how you're actually built to create your life. If this video spoke to you, drop a comment, even one word about which dial you think is yours, and subscribe so the rest find you. Soul first, strategy second.